The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Good morning, I'm Brian Akers, and welcome to Winning in Retirement. Today I have certified financial planner practitioner Jeff Akers with me. He's been in the financial services industry for over 20 years, and he knows his stuff and a few other things, right? And he's extremely highly qualified. All right, Jeff, it's been a while since you've been on a Saturday show. We haven't heard from you lately. So what you been doing?
I've been seeing clients, reviews, seeing some new folks, just helping people get ready for retirement.
Yeah, and that's what you keep telling me, but I just can't find you.
I promise you, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know you. I know it's true. The hard part is we do have multiple offices. We have one in Lutherville, one in Forest Hill, and sometimes it's like two passing ships. We don't get to see each other all the time.
That's right.
And then the amount of people wanting to talk about retirement is incredible. The amount of people who want to know, can they retire? Some people we say yes to, some people we don't say yes to, depending on what's going on. So what we did through our conversations with clients is put together a show for you. This show is called Will Your Retirement Income Give You the Outcome You Desire? Will your retirement income give you the outcome you desire? So this show, what we did is we thought about each and every person as it came in, people that are younger, that are just thinking about it, people that are close to retirement, or people that are in retirement. And we're thinking about those questions that they ask us about retirement income, and that transition of life. And we want to put a show together about that. And so that's what we're going to try to do today. Are you ready, Jeff?
That sounds good to me.
All right. So we got this first quarter off for you. Here's the thing. We take care of retirement income planning for you. In this segment, we're going to talk about why it's so important to have a retirement income plan. So you take that, Jeff.
Well, why it's important to have a retirement income plan, something I just wanted to add on to what you said. We take care of creating that plan for you. And then that's something that we go through with you. You approve the plan, obviously. You want to know what's going on. And then we review that plan at least annually, just to make sure we're on track, make sure that the goals have stayed the same, and make sure that we're doing the things we need to do to make your retirement income produce that outcome that you want to retire. When you retire, sometimes we have these goals, these big dreams that we want to do in retirement, but we haven't really thought about the plan to get there. And so that's where we come in. That's where we help. We create that plan to help you get there. And like Brian said, sometimes we say, all right, you wanted this and this, but we might have to choose between the two. And so which one is more important to you? And sometimes we say, okay, here's your goals. We can achieve these. Is there anything else that you want to do? And we help you figure those things out as well. So what we do is create that plan for you and then just keep an eye on it. Keep working with you over time into retirement.
Yeah, so throughout our show today, it is about retirement income, giving you the outcome you desire through a talk about cash flow, how to make your money last a lifetime, well into your 60s, 70s, and 80s, and how to draw income at those different ages. And of course, our favorite topic, how to have tax-free income. So these are all the different segments that we're going to talk about, but we're going to begin with retirement income will give you the outcome you desire. All right, Jeff, so retirement income plan. What's so important about it, and where does money come from? What happens? Yeah,
all throughout life, we have to look at what's our income and what's our outflow. What are we spending? We call that cash flow. And when you're working, getting ready for retirement, hopefully, your income is coming from work. But when you get to retirement, where's that check going to come from, or those checks going to come from? And so some people, they're very fortunate in today's world. They have a pension. And so they know they're going to get a certain amount of money every month because of the job that they had for years and years and years. And the longer they worked, the bigger that pension might be. So that's fantastic if we have one of those. There is something we have to keep an eye on with them, though, because sometimes pensions do not increase over time. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. And one thing that we know for sure is that inflation is a real thing. And so the cost of things goes up over time. And if you retire at 60, let's say, and you started taking a pension then, when you're 90, that's 30 years down the road. The cost of things is likely to have doubled or more over that time frame. And if you have the same income, then you're actually losing to inflation with that. So we have to account for that. Can I tell you the second source of income?
Why not?
Okay. So the second source of income that most people have is Social Security. And Social Security, unless you had a government job where you didn't pay into Social Security, you should have a Social Security benefit. Social Security is one of those things that was never intended to be your only income in retirement. It was meant to supplement your income in retirement. And so Social Security at least does adjust for inflation. It might not go up as much as real inflation does, but at least it goes up some when inflation goes up. So you might still lose to inflation, but not as much as with a pension or something that never increases. And so Social Security is that second form of income that we look for. But if you've got pension income, Social Security income, but that's just not enough to meet your goals, to give you that outcome that you desire, then we're going to have to take money from investments in order to fill that gap. And there's a variety of investments out there that we're going to talk about, ways to use them and to fill that gap and make your retirement what you want.
Yeah, so we're talking about retirement income, and I guess when you think about the ages, people that retire in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, my general advice is we do not want to use principal until we're into our 70s, into about the mid-70s, to use any of the principal. If you're using the principal too early, you're going to run out of money. So just the general premise, that's a funny word. What does that mean? All right, premise is the word I'm trying to use, but big words are hard. I try to make things sound simple, right? At least that's the way my brain works, is I take a complex issue like, all right, we have all this money saved and tax deferred, tax free. We have money in regular accounts. We have savings. We have pensions, Social Security. We have all these choices. And instead of pulling your hair out, what happens is we break it all out. We say, well, when do we want to start, from which account, and how are we going to take that money? When you're thinking about investments, let's say you want to retire in your 50s and you're thinking, well, I want to take some money out to retire. In the 60s, we want to use interest or dividends and general growth. We don't want to use principal. That's why I think a 4% rule still works. What are you thinking about that 4% rule, Jeff?
Well, one time it was a 5% rule and then it was a 4% rule, and I thought it kind of went to a 3% rule because it's based a little bit on interest rates. What's that risk-free rate of return you can get? Mm-hmm. And interest rates have been, really low for a long time now. So a 4% rule is okay to use as a rule of thumb, but we might even scale that down a little bit to 3.5 or something potentially, depending on how old you are.
I like the 4% rule. What the 4% rule is this: if you have money saved, let's say you have $1 million saved, and you take out about 4% a year, that's $40,000. If that was a retirement account, you'd have to pay tax on the 40. You would not get all the 40 in your bank account. You'd have the taxes. So the taxes could be 12, 22, 24, 32%, depending on, or even higher, 35, 39, depending on how much total income you have. That's just federal taxes. Then you got some Maryland tax on top of that, or whatever state you're retired to.
Sometimes we like those states where there's no state income tax.
Sometimes we like that.
Yeah, well, we like it all the time, but
we like it a lot, but we don't like our retirees moving out of Maryland. But a lot of them do. They go to multiple states, and that's why we're licensed in so many around America.
They move away, and then they miss their grandkids, and they come back. So,
yeah, some of them do. Some bring the grandkids to them, or they travel. All kinds of choices. The key thing about retirement income is planning so that you have the ability to make your own choices in retirement. Knowing that you have enough income is extremely important. When we're working hard, and then we get to those, get closer to retirement, we think about, do I have enough? That's a perfect time to have a meeting with a financial advisor, is to say, are you on target to have enough, and what will it look like? And is that acceptable for your retirement years? One of the mistakes we're seeing right now is people are so excited to retire, they can't wait to retire. They don't care what the number looks like, even though the reality is it's not enough, and they need to put in 3 more years or 5. They don't like to hear that. But what we try to do is give a financial talk that says there's emotions of retirement and then there's the numbers. And this is what the numbers tell us.
Right. And we want folks to retire once. We don't really want you to retire and then you have to go back to work and then you retire again. And we want to make sure that it's one time. And after that, if you want to do something, if you want to work part-time or something, that's fine. But you're doing it because you choose to, and not because you have to in order to meet your bills. So when Brian's talking about making that money last a lifetime, that's what we're shooting for. We want to make sure that it lasts that lifetime.
All right, I'm going to go crazy on one topic, and that is this. If you're in the state of Maryland and you're a new employee and you know you get a pension and you're like all happy about that pension, and then you look at Social Security and you think, oh, wow, I'm going to have that for my retirement. My answer to you is that that's not enough. It won't be enough. It's not designed to be enough. So an example of a state retiree, what they need to do is they need to be in the pension 30 years. You get around 30% of your pay at retirement. You can't live off 30% of your pay. Then you add Social Security into that. That gives you another chunk of money. You must, from the very beginning of your life, when it comes to that new that trying to think about retirement, you got that first job, you must save into a Roth IRA or into the 457 or 403B or 401A or 401K, whatever letters you want to give it. You must do that from the very first day that you start your job. You got to save first so that later on, when you start really thinking about retirement, you have money set aside. Having $50,000 in your 401k is not going to be enough to give you any money for your retirement years.
So think about this. The state, if they thought that pension was going to be enough for your retirement, they wouldn't offer a savings plan for you. Same thing with the federal government. If they thought that pension was going to be enough with Social Security, they wouldn't offer the TSP to you. So even they know that the employers know that what they're providing through a defined benefit plan, that pension coming out to you, they know it's not going to be enough. So they want to set up or help you set up something that allows you to save more, to have that investment layer that we talked about before.
We're just getting started. Will your retirement income give you the outcome you desire? Have you thought about your pay and how much of that you're going to need in your retirement years? I think the number is at least 85% of what you make you need to be bringing in retirement. And you got to build a plan. But you got to have a financial advisor to help you build that plan. Because in retirement, the biggest worry of your day should be about where you're going to drink your morning cup of coffee, where every day seems like a Saturday, free of stress. Your retirement income and investments are taken care of by the team of advisors at Acres Financial Group. If this is the future you want, it's not too late. We can provide this kind of retirement for you. Just begin by calling Acres Financial Group and schedule a free meeting. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and we'll give you a call back on Monday to schedule a phone meeting, virtual Zoom, or your favorite in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning your retirement now. Go ahead and call at 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. Have you ever milked a cow? How does this apply to retirement income? We will explain in the second quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Jeff Akers. We are certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group, right here in Maryland, but we do work with clients all over the United States.
Hey, Brian, have you ever milked a cow?
That's very interesting, Jeff. That sounds utterly ridiculous.
Well, it might be utterly ridiculous, but the analogy does hold true. When I was a kid, I grew up on a little farmette, and we actually had a cow for a while. So I got to try to milk a cow. I wasn't particularly successful at it, but I got to try when I was young. But the interesting thing about the milking a cow is we'd go out in the morning, milk the cow, and then we'd have milk for that day that we could drink. And then the next day we'd go out and we'd milk the cow again, and we'd have more milk. Now, eventually, we reached a point, and this for reasons that a little kid wasn't going to understand, but we got rid of the cow. We didn't have the cow anymore, but we ate really good for about a year. We had steak and roast and hamburgers and all kinds of great stuff that was from that cow. But when that was gone, it was gone. We didn't have the cow anymore, and we didn't have the milk anymore. And so when we compare this to finances, it's kind of the same thing. You know, you've got your cow, and you want to take income from it, but you don't want to kill the cow. So last segment, you talked a little bit about that 4% rule, and that's just an example of using the milk from the cow without killing the cow.
Now, Jeff was so excited to tell you his cow story. he never let me answer if I milked a cow too. But now I didn't have a cow in the backyard like Jeff had. Or it was in the barn, right in the back.
It was in the barn.
Yeah, that's cool. It had its own house. It's nice. But I had to go on vacation to milk cows. That's what I did on vacation growing up. We went down to Virginia, back where everybody was born, like my father. And what we did on vacation, I go milk cows. I'm not kidding. I'd wake up 4:30 in the morning, go with my cousin to help milk cows. Thankfully, on the big farm, I was able to use machines. That was interesting. And then my other uncle, he had to do it by hand. Now, that was interesting. Now, milking cow, you appreciate paying a couple of dollars for a gallon of milk, someone handing it to you. It's a lot of work. But this show's not about animal. Should have had a warning about Jeff killing the cow. That should have been our first disclosure at the beginning of this segment.
It was tasty.
All right, so the concept is this. This concept's been done by Zig Ziglar in the 70s. And the idea is if you have a cow, the first cash cow is really what we're talking about. We're not talking about
Livestock.
We're talking about cash cow. Cash cow is what's going to provide cash in your life. And the very first thing is that first job. That first job giving you cash. What you got to do from the very beginning is have a plan for that cash for when you milk the cow, when you get that paycheck. Is that money going and building up maybe a cash cow herd over a lifetime? Yes, I said a cash cow herd. We call the different cows. We can start them as small baby cows. They could be a savings account, your retirement account, a Roth IRA. You might have savings and life insurance. You might have stocks, bonds, savings bonds, treasury, direct, inflationary bonds. All kinds of ways to put money in saving. We can call them our cash cow. And as you grow your money, you build your cash cow herd. And the concept is this. You want to have as many of them as possible. So when you're ready to retire, you can then go to the cows and say, all right, if I milk this one in my late 50s, I don't pay a penalty. If I milk this in my 60s, my taxes aren't as much. And then when I'm 72 years old, I have to milk these cows because the IRS says I have to. So understanding that herd, understanding what their names are, how they work, is what financial planners do. Do you need to understand everything about the cows, the cash cows? No. Have a financial advisor help you understand and make this plan good for you. All right, Jeff, thanks for letting me explain my little cow story.
Yeah, I didn't have a herd of cows. I only had the one cow. But one cow that I was thinking of as you were talking, the different cows in your herd, some folks like to buy real estate. And that becomes a cash cow in retirement because somebody lives there and they're paying rent, and
absolutely,
they use that money as a cash cow.
Excellent way to diversify your cash, your money, is to have real estate where the rent's coming in. You can do it on your own, or if you can't be a landlord, you can have real estate investments that provide the rental income. I was thinking about your cow. How did we play basketball with the cow in the barn, Jeff?
Well, by the time we played basketball out there, the cow was gone.
Okay.
I had already eaten him.
Okay. And you never got another one?
No, we never got another cow, but we got a pony. But I didn't milk the pony.
Yeah. Somehow they milk almonds nowadays, so who knows? All right, let's go back to the show. The show is this. The show is how and will your retirement income give you the outcome you desire. This section is about you have money flowing in while you're working. You need to have a plan for it. What are your thoughts, Jeff?
All right. So you mentioned before about having some of these different cows. There's, the one that you're working, you've got a job, and you're saving to a 401k. And most likely that 401k is tax deferred. They do give you the option now a lot of times of doing a Roth contribution, but most of the ones that we come across, they're still tax deferred. That means that you get a tax break when you put the money into the 401k. It comes out of your check before taxes. It lowers your taxable income, and you're happy about that. And then that account grows over time. And Brian mentioned when you reach age 72 that you're going to have to start taking money out of certain accounts, and that's one of them. And a tax-deferred account, the IRS figures you didn't pay any tax on the money when you put it in. You haven't paid any tax on the growth along the way. Well, it's time to start paying the tax. So take the money out, and we're going to tax it when you do. So that's a 401k, a traditional IRA, a traditional TSP, 403b, all those things that Brian mentioned before. So that's one kind of cow in your herd. Then another cow in your herd could be the Roth side of things. And we'll talk more about that later on. But a Roth, you put money in, you don't get that tax break up front. But in retirement, when you take that money out, it comes out tax-free. And so that can really help down the road. And then there's your regular taxable investments. You pay, if it's a brokerage account or something, you pay taxes on capital gains and dividends and things like that. If you have one of those properties that we talked about where you're renting it out, if you sold it, you pay a capital gains tax on it. But while there's a renter there, you're paying tax on that income as it comes to you. It's just as you go, but there's not a lot of restrictions when it comes to ages and penalties and things like that with those types of investments. So we like to have a variety of those investments. And I only mentioned 3 cows. There's more because we can split up that in particular the regular taxable accounts into a lot of different kinds of things. But well, you're laughing at me because I keep going back to the cow.
I was just wondering how many cows you're going to bring out. The reality is most people fall in love with one cow or one kind of investment, and that's the only thing they have. And that can lead to some problems down the road when you think about markets that change. And when markets change and we have all of our money in one thing and all of a sudden that's not the right thing and it starts to lose money, we really believe in diversification. So at Acres Financial Group, when you think about planning and investment planning and then actual investment implementation where we invest the money for you, we want to diversify so that if one cow, if one situation is going down, we're not destroyed for our entire retirement income. We have a plan for it all. Now, Jeff, have you ever had someone come into the office and after the first, second, or third meeting, they say to you, I should have come sooner?
Oh, yes. I was talking to someone not too long ago. They said, I haven't done anything for the last 12 or 13 years, and I really should have. Back in 2008, 2009, the market went way down, and it just kind of panicked me, and I was just frozen at that point. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't bring myself to invest, but I know that I need to now. So we start now. We can't start in the past, so we start now. And so we started working on ways to put things in the right place. And markets are going to go up and markets are going to go down. There will be pullbacks and drawdowns in the market. The important thing is to have a plan in place so that when that happens, the plan has already taken it into consideration. So you don't have to panic. If you got investments that some things go down, that's fine because we have other investments that don't go down. And those are what we're going to use for our income. And I tell folks that are 72 and they have to take money out of IRAs and whatnot, I like to have an IRA account that's invested in the market that can go up and down, and an IRA that's not invested in the market, something that's guaranteed not to go down. If the market's really good, we'll take your required distribution from what went up. If the market's bad, then we won't touch that, and we'll take it from what didn't go down. And that way we never have to sell at a loss. That's our goal. Don't sell at a loss.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things Jeff just said, and the hardest part is taking all that information and applying it to your financial life. That's what a financial advisor does. What we're trying to do on the show is give you topics and thoughts where you can then begin to think about what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? And then we recommend that you sit down with one of our team of advisors for that free hour where you sit down and talk about your situation and how all of this applies to you. But there are some basics. That's why you listen to shows like this, is to find out a little bit more that you maybe don't know. But think about this. You want to know if your retirement income is going to give the outcome that you desire. And that comes down to what have you done so far? We call that your unique financial fingerprint. Where are you right now? Have you saved? Have you built a pension through years of service? Does a spouse have that? Are you married? Are you divorced? What's going on in your life that's affecting the income? And what is the thing that you want to do in retirement? Most of the time, we end up saying to our clients, what is your need for cash, for money during your retirement years? That's hard to tell. What you do is you take your current budget and you say, well, this is what I'm doing now, and this is what's going to change in retirement. And so I need to target this percentage of pay. And that's where I gave you that number, 85% of income. Some people are great savers. Maybe they don't need as much, but you need to know what your number is. What is your money that you need each and every month? Now, at Acres Financial Group, we're a local independent firm. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street. We report to you. We do have offices in Lutherville and Forest Hill, but we meet with clients all around the country, and sometimes in person and also through this amazing virtual meetings that we can have with clients. What you need to do is go ahead and give us a call at Acres Financial Group to schedule that free meeting to go over what you need to do to make your retirement income that right outcome that you need. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and we'll give you a call on Monday to set up that time for that virtual meeting or in person, of course. We love that, where you meet with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now by calling 833-946-7384 or visit our website at acresfinancialgroup.com. That's AKERS financialgroup.com. Will you have enough income to last your lifetime, or will you run out of money in retirement? This is a really important segment you need to hear in the second half.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Yes, welcome back. The announcer just welcomed you back, and I'm welcoming you back. I'm Brian Akers. I'm the president and founder of Acres Financial Group. I'm a certified financial planner, practitioner for 31 years already. So one of the things that we want you to know is that when you're a financial advisor, you advise people on their situation. Now, we have always been a financial advisor, and we've always been having a fiduciary responsibility, fiduciary relationship with clients because of being a certified financial planner. One of the weird things recently is you might hear the word fiduciary being thrown out in marketing, and it's not anything new. Fiduciary is where we take responsibility for what you give on the advice side with a client. So giving the best advice is what we want to do for each and every client that we ever work with. Also with this show, Winning in Retirement, we want you to win in retirement. If you're thinking about retirement, if you're close to retirement, or if you're in retirement, no matter what phase, we have clients in every category where we sit down and talk with them and coach them to reach each and every goal so that they absolutely win in their retirement years. And so today's show, we brought Jeff Akers. He's been warming up in the bullpen to bring it here in the second half. You ready to go, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. We got more to go. Half the game. Just half the game to go.
That's it?
That's all. Half is left.
Yeah, you can give us some more energy now, right? It's only half left. You don't have to save it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, one of my soccer coaches, what he used to say is this: when the game's over, I'll come out to that field and drag you off the field. Don't save any energy for later. Everything you've got. It's like, that's funny.
Yep. Well, they'll have to drag us out of here then. So
yeah, hard work. I've got to have that. All right. So the third segment is this. Our show is, will your retirement income give you the outcome that you desire? And this third segment, we have this question. Will you have enough income to last a lifetime, or will your money run out in your retirement years? What's your thoughts, Jeff?
Well, we want to make sure that you do have enough money to last a lifetime. So we're going to talk about some things that can produce that and do that for you. That's a sure thing. And then we want to, we'll talk a little bit about some other strategies to help in that direction. You know, they're not guaranteed or anything like that, but some other strategies that can help make sure that the money you have lasts a lifetime. We've got clients that, you know, are alive in their 90s, some that have made it up into their hundreds. And so we want to make sure that, you know, you've got money to last a really long time. The IRS actually says that when you're 120 years old, you've got 2 more years to live. That's what they use on their life expectancy table.
Just been saving that fact for a long time. Oh, my. All right. When I think about retirement income and income planning, and I think about, is there enough money to last a lifetime? I think about lots of other radio shows I hear around the country, and I think about certain code words. So I wanted to give you, the listener, the secret words and secret thoughts when people are doing a radio show and they say certain words, what it means. If they use the word safe, what does that mean, Jeff?
So safe means that it's not going to go down, an investment that doesn't lose when the stock market loses.
All right. So what investment can do that?
So certain things that do that, it's insurance.
Insurance, it's through a life insurance company, right?
Right. It's through a life insurance company. Even money in the bank is safe because of the FDIC, which is an insurance company. So insurance companies, they issue annuities. And so a fixed annuity, a fixed indexed annuity, something that's guaranteed against loss, That is what they're talking about when they use the word safe.
Right. So what happens is that when you think of that word safe, so the first secret is this, the word safe. What does that mean? How does it apply to what's being explained to you? Safe is a guarantee from a company based on the company's assets. Annuities are not backed by the federal government. There is a little bit of like bankruptcy insurance through each state where they actually take some of the premium and the premium tax and they set aside some money, but that's really not enough money there to give you a guarantee. The only guarantee is the assets of a company. So if you're presented different types of annuities, there's really 4 different kinds. Today's show's not about all of them. We're trying to talk about retirement income, how to use it. But if they say the word safe, think about protected. That means principal protected. And then if you think about that, there's different options. There are retirement income riders that get added to annuities. Fixed annuities and variable annuities have these income riders.
Something you mentioned before about safe means that it's backed by that insurance company. Just reminds me, when you're looking at investments like this, how strong is that insurance company? Because the money is only as safe as that company. So there are ways to check the financial strength of insurance companies, and you want to make sure that you're using the strong ones. If you're transferring risk to them, you want to make sure they can handle that risk for you. So, back to income riders that Brian wants to get to. So an income rider is a way that an annuity can provide a stream of income to you for the rest of your life, and they guarantee that it won't stop and it won't go down until you pass away. It's different than what we think of with annuitization, which is what a pension really is. But in that, with a pension, if the principal inside the annuity goes to zero instantly. With an income rider, you still have that accumulation value. It decreases over time, but if you pass away before it's gone, then there is something that can go to your beneficiaries with an income rider.
Right. Income riders can be on your variable annuity, usually sold through stockbrokers, once in a while through bank brokers, but you'll see a lot of variable annuities through stockbrokers. Fixed annuities are people that are not licensed for securities. They can't sell a variable annuity, so all they do is sell fixed annuities. Fixed annuities have guarantees when it comes to the principal, and then their riders have certain minimum guarantees on the payouts. So understanding how they work is extremely important. And many times people bring in what they already own to us, and we explain what they have because we are there for our clients, and helping them understand and when to draw and when to make that income last a lifetime. So an income rider, imagine that you pay a fee for it. Each kind of policy adds a rider for a fee. Almost like pizza, if you add a topping, you add a rider, boom, you pay a fee. Fee between 1.5%, depending on the company, but that's extra costs against the growth of the plan. Income riders and annuitization that Jeff mentioned is a big difference. If you're fearful of, if I die too soon, then I lose all the money, that's what happens in a pension. Also happens if you annuitize. So if you ever are comparing income rider income to annuitization, income rider income would be lower and as you start. Income riders are designed in many different ways, have many different factors. We cannot cover all of them in today's show, but the idea is understanding what you have or what you need to have. We believe that annuities, if you think about them for income or you think about them for growth, if you have them designed for growth, you wouldn't add toppings such as a rider where you pay fees. You want it to grow faster, so you want to make sure there's no fees inside. On the income annuity where you have the rider, you can take a single life or a joint payment and you can make it last a lifetime. So if you're taking a portfolio of investments and you could have the choice of bonds versus a fixed annuity, the bonds will give you interest. And one of the good things about that is that interest will pay as long as the bonds pay. But the problem with it is that the bond principal fluctuates between the day you buy it and the day it matures. If you own a bond mutual fund, you have a lot more fluctuation of the principal, where you can actually lose value as interest rates rise, is what we think is going to happen over the next 3 to 5 years. Interest rates will rise, your bond values will go down. So how do you take money from a bond fund? Interest. If you take principal, you're going to have less interest, so you got to watch that. A fixed annuity gives you income in a better way, and the fact that that money is guaranteed by the insurance company to last a lifetime. no matter how long that lifetime is. So if you think about longevity and you're like, I might go to 100, well, make sure your income goes with you.
Right. Your income needs to last as long as you do. Now, another one of those key words I was just thinking about as you were talking about income riders, you might hear on the radio somebody says, and you get a bonus for the income, and they'll tell you the number for whatever that bonus is. Well, a lot of times these annuities have an income value and an accumulation value, two different things. Accumulation value is the number that if you called the insurance company and said, send me my money, they're going to send you the accumulation value. The income value is the number that they use to calculate how much income they're going to send you for the rest of your life. You can't call the insurance company and send me that number. I want the income number. If you want that number, you're going to have to take it out over your lifetime to get that. So I've had folks come in, they show me an annuity, and they're like, I got a 10% bonus on this. And I look at it, and it's like, well, that's on the income side. That's not on the accumulation, what I call the real money side, that you could take out at any time.
Right. And so what he's saying is that there are different features, and they explain with different rules. You just need to know what you have or what you're looking at if you're thinking about buying one. Make sure you understand that you are buying one, so you need to know the ins and outs. What we do as insurance brokers is we shop different companies, and we do everything we can to find the best policy for the right situation for our clients. Yes, we use fixed annuities with income riders to provide income for a lifetime. We believe that at 72, people need to take RMDs. RMD is a withdrawal. That's called income. So why not have some of that guaranteed? When we just turn that on, it'll start making payments every year to meet your required minimum distribution. And that's something that we think it works out very well. We also treat it as a bond replacement in a portfolio design. And so that's how we use it. We do not use the entire portfolio with something that's guaranteed like that. We don't believe that's proper. We believe you have an allocation. One of the key ingredients for the next decade is you must keep up with inflation. Only way to do that is have some money in the stock market.
And think of these investments as tools. There aren't good and bad tools. It just depends on having the right tool for the job that you have. So money has a purpose. Pick the right tool to meet the purpose that you have for that money.
Yeah, you like saying purpose and tool when it's really popping. I thought that was pretty cool. Think about purpose. With your money, give your money purpose, so that'll dictate how you should invest it. If it's long-term, you're throwing it out to retirement, you can invest long-term. The younger you are, don't take a little bit more risk. Don't be afraid of the long-term stock market. Try to invest and invest consistently. And when it talks about, we talk about winning in retirement is like our show's name. And the idea of winning in retirement is truly where you know where your money's coming from. And then you don't have to worry about, is it going to show up next month or the month after, because that plan's been put together. Retirement comes a situation where you get your time back, where you don't have to decide how to use it. You don't have to spend all your time figuring out where the check's coming from next month. What you do is you spend your time on the dreams that you had when you were younger, those retirement dreams of what you're going to do, and get going. So go ahead and give us a call for a free review, a free meeting where we sit down with you and talk about your exact situation. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and one of our team members will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone meeting, virtual Zoom, or in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Give us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit our website at acresfinancialgroup.com. These might be your three favorite words in retirement. Tax-free income. We'll explain in the final quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me is Jeff Akers, and you have entered the fourth quarter. It's winning time. We are both certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group, located right here in Maryland. But we do work with clients all around the country and a few outside of the country because of their jobs. We are certified financial planners, which means we are financial advisors, here to advise on your retirement. In a show like this, we're giving topics and information We're not giving you the exact advice to do because we haven't got a chance to meet with you. That's why we always offer that free time. One of the things we want you to do is go to our website at acresfinancialgroup.com, AKERSFINANCIAL.group.com. Sorry, I get stuck with the financial spelling that out. I don't want to add too many ANs to it. But acresfinancialgroup.com. That website we put together, and on there we have a radio tab where you can go there, and on the radio tab you can check out all our past shows. You can hear this show will be up on there, so you can listen to this and hear it again. You can also go to past shows right on that site. The other thing that's real important on the first page of the acresfinancialgroup.com webpage is at the bottom there's a thing that says schedule a meeting. And basically you can ask a question, schedule a meeting, and you set up and notify us through that website. And then we'll email you back, and then that'll start the process of getting that first time set up as quickly as possible to talk with one of our team of advisors. Also, another thing on that website is called webinars. We have a thing about our stock market we just put up there recently. You need to go ahead and check that out. That was our market review last year and our market outlook for 2022. All right, we want to finish our show today by talking about will your retirement income give you an outcome you desire? And we want to welcome Jeff Akers back to the show.
Yeah, it's good to be here still. Fourth quarter win time.
Win time. You put the four fingers in the air. That's when you got to take the win. Sometimes you got to have a comeback. I think we're doing okay today. I don't know if we need to have a full press and comeback.
Well, and the topic this quarter is fantastic. Tax-free income. Anytime the word free is in there, my ears perk up. And when it's tax-free, that's even better.
Yeah, cheap's your middle name, I heard.
That's right.
All right. Your three favorite words in retirement should be tax-free income. So when you save your money and you build up some cash cows and we say, oh, that's a tax-free account, you mean that dollar is worth $1? That's exciting. Because a pre-tax retirement, you say, here's $1, and they go, oh, I'm going to give you 70 cents, 80 cents. I can't give you a whole dollar because you have to pay taxes to the federal and to Maryland, local, all that combination. All right, so tax-free income. I think of two sources for tax-free income. There is a few others, but we're going to cover two main sources. Which one do you want to cover first, Joe?
Well, I'll let you cover the life insurance one.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and do that one first, because that's the one that's probably a little bit lesser known, even though it's been around a longer time.
Yeah, this is another secret when it comes to radio shows and you're listening and you hear certain code words. And they say, oh, you might not know that there's a plan out there where you can save money, and it can be, will have no limitations on when you take your money out. It's tax-free, and people don't talk about it. Well, the end result is it's life insurance. Life insurance allows you to save money in the policy. So you pay your premium, you pay the transaction costs, you pay all the fees inside. And if you add more money than that into a permanent policy, you can build up cash value. As you build up cash value, the kind of policy you pick, you get to decide how to invest it, from interest rates to even in the stock market through different designs of life insurance. My answer, if you're thinking about retirement and saving through life insurance, you need to think about time in a policy, 10, 15, 20 years, where this money has time to grow tax-free, time to pay the cost of a life insurance policy, because life insurance policy has a cost. It has death benefit charges and a lot of other charges inside for administration, and you just got to make sure it fits properly for you. There are different plans that work. Many times when we're thinking about tax-free retirement income through a life insurance plan, we are using it for people who have higher income and the inability to save at work. This could be business owners where their employees don't save enough, so they're not allowed to save a proper amount in their retirement plan. So they got to find other ways to put money to the future. And so in your 30s and 40s, all the way up to maybe 50 or so, you can buy a policy where you put money away, you let it grow over time, and then you can withdraw tax-free. As long as you keep that policy open and going until you pass away, it's all tax-free to you because you are taking what you put in, which is original cost basis, and then the second thing you do is you borrow against it. Almost like borrowing from your house with a home equity. It's not a taxable event when you borrow your home equity because you're paying it back. Same thing works in the life insurance policy. So when you think about tax-free retirement income, there is this concept of using life insurance, and that fits the right situation. Then you want to make sure it fits for you.
Right. Life insurance is a powerful tool. One thing that I would just add is make sure that the premium that you're paying on the life insurance is not the minimum premium. If you want to build a cash value, you've got to pay more than just enough to cover the expenses that Brian talked about. You've got to put extra money into it for that to grow. Without the growth, I've seen folks come in and they say, oh, I got this life insurance policy. It's supposed to have a big cash value, but they haven't paid enough into it over the years. Mm-hmm. If you do put enough into it, if the plan is designed right and you follow that plan, then you can have a nice nest egg to get to. But you do want to be kind of young and healthy when you get it.
And sometimes what we're doing in our financial planning is we take a look at what you already have and see if it's going to work. Now, if you might have bought certain kind of policies 20 years ago that had extremely high expenses and they might not be working out for you, you might need to update that and get something that might fit better in your situation. So we do review the insurance policies, and that's an important thing to do. And then we're going to finish up this fourth quarter is talking about the other source of retirement tax-free income, and that is what, Jeff?
It is one of my favorites. It's a Roth IRA. This came out in the late 90s, and it's a way to put money aside for retirement. You don't get a tax break when you put money into it. So when you go to your accountant and they say, well, what'd you do that for? You didn't save any money on your taxes. Well, it's tax-free when you take it out in retirement. And the beauty of this is you put money in, it grows, and you get to take out what you put in and the growth tax-free.
I like to say, pay tax now and never again.
Ooh, never again. That is awesome. So I love Roth IRAs. So the question that you should be asking is, how can I get into one of these?
How do you get some of that?
So yeah, I got to get me some of that.
Yeah.
So one is you make contributions, regular contributions. Now there are income limits on the contributions that you can make. So we have to follow those rules and make sure that we meet all of them. But just because you have a 401k at work does not mean that you can't save to a Roth IRA. We have to check your income, but it doesn't mean that you're excluded from doing it. So let us look at it. And if you can do it, we recommend that you do it. We want to maximize that Roth IRA if we can.
Yeah, typically what we do is we maximize your match at work. Then we say, can you put the money into a Roth, maximize your Roth, and then we can go back to work and put more money away. And then if your work has the Roth option, how does that work, Jeff?
Well, the Roth option at work, if you get a match, and so you make all your contributions to the Roth side, you do not get a tax deduction for that. So your income on your W-2 at the end of the year is still high. But then the match that comes from the employer, that still goes to the traditional side. So you end up having sort of two accounts in one that's a Roth, you paid tax and you never pay tax again. And the other is a traditional side where you didn't pay tax and you're going to pay tax eventually, tax deferred.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Roth IRAs. The hardest part is you have to save it. You're allowed to put $6,000, $7,000 a year, so you're not going to have a ton of money into it unless you save it and invest it more aggressively over time. The sooner you can do it, the better. So if you got that first job, or if you're maybe early 30s just starting to think about retirement, go do some Roth. Put some money to a Roth, $50 a month, 100. You can put 500, whatever amount you can get up to, and max it out if you can. If you can do it at work, that's even better.
But build that habit. Develop the habit. It's a good habit to save money, set money aside for the future. Another way, so we talked about we can contribute to a Roth IRA. Well, what if you have regular IRAs? Then you can do something called a conversion. Now, a Roth conversion is not subject to that income limit currently. So if you have an IRA and you want to convert some money to a Roth, you can do it. When you do a conversion, you're taking money from a traditional IRA that you haven't paid tax on yet, and you're converting it into a Roth IRA. And when you do that, you have to pay tax on the amount that you're converting. So you want to have time, once you've done the conversion, for it to grow to make up for the tax that you've already paid. But this is another thing that can be a powerful tool for retirement to fill up some of that tax-free, never taxed again money, that bucket. I love having that bucket full. It just makes a lot of things a little bit easier.
Yeah, so when someone calls and they say, well, hey, I need like $5,000, and you go, well, we got a Roth IRA, it's tax-free, you can pull it out of there. That's nice, you can send them the money. Now, if we don't touch the Roth ever during our lifetime, it goes tax-free to our heirs. And without getting too complex, it's typically your heir will have a 10-year period to take the Roth money out. So they can let it grow tax-free for 10 years. And so that's sort of the legacy part of a Roth IRA. But the retirement income portion is where you're looking at tax planning. You're trying not to pay too much tax. you can turn on some income from the Roth IRA. Once you've had the Roth IRA 5 years, you can actually touch the growth on it. So you do want to start a Roth as early as you can so you can get through that 5-year period. But then the idea is turning on that income, using these multiple buckets of money, these multiple cash cows to give you the income you need. Any final advice on some basic retirement income planning, Jeff?
Well, just real quick, we mentioned the age 72, you have to take money out of traditional accounts. A Roth IRA is not subject to required minimum distributions. The Roth 401k at work is, but the Roth IRA, once it's in there, is not subject to required distributions.
Yeah, the Roth 401k has its own set of rules, which you need to know about. If you have it, make sure you know those rules. Well, that's going to have to be a whole nother show. Yeah. Thanks very much for your time today, Jeff, and your advice. It was a good show.
Good to be back.
Thanks for talking about your cow milking and everything. So today we did talk about cows. We talked about cash cows and how milking a cow is only going to work if you keep milking. If you ever eat a cow, there's no more milk. So in retirement years, we want you to think about how you're going to milk the cow, the investments that you've saved, how you're going to pull money out. You need to have a plan for that. And that's what a financial advisor should do, is have a plan, help you have a plan for that. So this show was basically the following. Will your retirement income give you the outcome you desire? How do you know? The one way to know is take advantage of an opportunity by giving us a call at Acres Financial Group to schedule your free meeting where we sit down and talk about your unique financial situation. So go ahead and give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and one of our team members will call you back on Monday to schedule an in-person meeting, virtual Zoom, and we'll sit down and talk about your exact situation. Start planning for your retirement now by giving us a call at 833-946-7384 or go to our website at acresfinancialgroup.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on Winning in Retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.